G'day coppers, welcome back to the bush. In this episode of Lockups for All Driving, we're going to work out whether your spare tyre can be used as an air tank for your air compressor in your four-wheel drive. But what's the burst pressure? Well, we got 4,000 psi of nitrogen here, and we're going to send a 35-inch muddy into a low Earth orbit. Let's get into it. Now, a decent sized air tank is going to significantly reduce your inflation times at the end of the day when you're airing up your tyres, or allow you to run things like air tools. But modern cars like this one, there's no room under the bonnet, and there's no room under here either. So I got to thinking, where can I put a decent sized air tank on the Zook? There's no room under the bonnet, there's no room underneath. Now you might have seen a video, if not I'll link above, where we went from 18 psi in a 35-inch muddy right through to 38 psi in less than 20 seconds using enough air tank, about 25 litres, and a few other tricks. And then it came to me, what about the tyre? Now, I'm not going to claim overinflation of the tyre as an original idea, because it's not. You might remember painter and legendary bushman Jack Absalon doing that to his Sigma. Actually, I'll let Jack explain it better than I can.
I always pump my spare tyre to 100-pound pressure, and then when I get problems like this, I transfer the air out of the spare tyre into these tyres. No hassles, cost nothing, nice and simple.
So Jack overinflated his standard passenger car tyre to 100 psi in order to reinflate the tyres on his Sigma. Now this is an LT tyre, or a light truck tyre, and they're a beefier construction. And my ARB twin cuts out at 150 psi. So is 150 psi safe on one of these? That's what we're going to work out today. Now this is a 9 kilogram dry powder fire extinguisher. These have a working pressure of about 200 psi. They're charged up with nitrogen. When they test these and service them, they hydrostatically test. That is, they fill them up with water and they charge them up with nitrogen to 3 times the working pressure, or 600 psi, and they call them good to go. So I thought, well, it's good enough for them, it's probably good enough for me. Now my setup here can go to 870 psi, so I'm pretty sure we'll find the limits of this tyre. I'd like to see 450 psi, but how are we going to measure it? So how are we going to tell the pressure in the tyre? This is the setup. So we've got a pressure regulator here, and that goes from 0 right through to 60 bar, or about 870 psi. And that's great, but it's very hard to tell the difference between 100 and 150 psi on that little gauge there. So what I've done is I've put a pressure transducer, and that varies from 0 right through to 1000 psi. So it covers a whole gamut. We'll be able to tell exactly how much pressure is in one of these tyres. Now it requires a 5-volt DC power supply, and I've connected up the output to my little mushy meter here. You might have seen that in a previous episode of Lockups for All Driving. And it displays the voltage output from here on my phone, and it actually can data log on the SD card in the mushy meter. So I get a decent amount as I go along of exactly how much pressure is in that tyre. And that's our setup. So first up, we'll try a passenger car tyre, and we'll put 150 psi in it using the ARB compressor. If it's happy with that, then we'll try the nitrogen bottle, and I'm sure 4,000 psi behind it is going to let go at some stage. Once we've done that, the 35-inch muddy, I'm sacrificing a 35-inch muddy for this video, and we're going to send it into a low Earth orbit. Let's make a start. All right, here's our victims. We got the Olympic sprinter. He's about 15 years old. It's a 205/70 R14. It's about 25 or 26 inches in diameter. Not a very big tyre. And I've got all the ARB hoses joined into one. Oh look, there's our 35-inch muddy. That's our next victim. On the other side of the Zook, because I'd like to keep my head attached to my shoulders, we'll have to run the Zook to run the ARB twin there. And we've got the Jammick Pen Auto 1000 there, and that'll provide the inflation duties. So here we have the Jammick Pen Auto 1000. And 18 psi is not going to cut it, so let's see what she goes up to. There we go, 150 psi. We'll plug that into our ARB twin. We've got our remote for our high-speed setup. Let's start throwing 150 psi into a passenger car tyre.
A few moments later.
Well, we've got 135.7 in there, only 15 psi, the 150 psi that I wanted in there. Doesn't even look like it's going to let go, so time to drag out the big guns, the nitrogen bottle. So we've got the high-speed video armed, we've got the nitrogen bottle hooked up, we've got the data logging going. Let's see what 4,000 psi can do to a passenger car tyre. Better put the hearing protection on for this one. The regulator's up to 20 bar. We'll wait for the gas to stop flowing. That way we'll know we'll have 20 bar in the tyre. So 20 bar is going to be around about 300 psi.
A few moments later.
Oh my God! Well, that certainly got the old heart racing. Not much left of this tyre. First we'll check the data on a graph and then we'll have a look at the high speed.
And here we have the maximum tyre inflation pressure for a passenger car tyre. Now along the bottom is time, but that really doesn't matter for our purposes. But here we have the pressure in PSI, or pounds per square inch. And here's the passenger car tyre. Now we maxed out at 295.75 PSI, or just short of 300 PSI. Righto, on with the slow-mo footage. First up in real time, and then on with the slow-mo footage.
So now with the passenger car tyre done, it's time for the one you've been waiting for, the 35 muddy. Let's get into it. Okay, now for the 35. Turn on the gas and we'll see how much pressure it should take. Now that's about 10 bar or 150 psi. We'll wait for the gas to flow in. The gas is starting to empty the bottle. We're down to about 60 bar in the bottle and we're not quite up to 10 bar in the tyre, so it's going to be close. This could turn into a two-part series. So it looks like the flow is just about stopped, so we must be around about the 10 bar mark or about 150 psi. So I'll crank up the regulator. Hopefully we've got enough juice left in the bottle. Okay, so we've turned it up to 15 bar. Well, I've just turned it up to 20 bar, but our bottle's getting towards the end. Oh, jeez! Right, ladies and gents, here's the aftermath. Firstly, the rim. These aren't $20 rims. These are Rock Monster from memory, decent steel rims from the States, and as you can see, formerly round, not so round anymore. And the tyre, well, it blew it clear off the rim. It's cut all the wire in the bead there. It's turned part of the tyre inside out. But let's check out the graph.
And here we have the results for the 35-inch muddy. Max inflation pressure. Now our passenger car tyre, don't forget, 295.75 psi, and our muddy, well, let's have a look. It maxed out at 307.61 psi. Now you've got to remember that's more impressive than it actually sounds, because it's a much larger tyre, therefore you need a much thicker sidewall to contain the same amount of pressure. So it's actually really good. I was quite impressed with the 35-inch muddy's performance. Righto, on with the slow-mo.
So firstly, let's have a close-up look at the rim. As you can see, it's deformed most of the way around here. This rim's obviously a write-off. And it's not cheapy either. Okay. Shows you the power of a bit of compressed air. Let's have a look at that tyre. So here's our tyre. Here's the reinforcing in the beads. That's obviously severed in two. It's partially turned the tyre inside out. Obviously the tyre is a write-off. Not even good as a spare these days. It was unevenly worn, and that's why I condemned it. It was holding air and everything fine. And as you can see, it's ripped pieces of the bead off. That's obviously where it's deformed the rim. I think that one's good for the bin too. 10 minutes ago, I thought this was going to be a two-part series because the bottle was down in the red and the tyre still hadn't blown. But we had just enough in the bottle, obviously she's just about empty now, to make the tyre let go. So on to, would I recommend the tyre as an air pressure reservoir for your air compressor? So it turns out Mr. Absalon was 100% correct. 100 PSI is fine. 150 PSI, however, doesn't allow you enough safety margin to avoid something like this potentially happening. The only question that needs to be answered now is, does the valve flow enough air? Because it's a restriction to make pumping these things up to 100 PSI worthwhile as an air reservoir. But that might be the subject of another video. All right guys, this video has been a real eye-opener for me, and a tyre opener too. So if you like this video guys, don't forget, give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, by all means, give it a thumbs down. Not once, not thrice, but twice. Thanks guys, see you in the next one.
So if you've enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell icon. It's really important to us and you won't miss out on our future content. Now if you want to support the channel, by all means, consider becoming a patron on Patreon, and you get things like early access to our videos on YouTube. Either way, we hope to see you out on the tracks.